The invitation wasn't printed on fancy cardstock. It wasn't sent through Evite or Facebook events. It was written in bold black Sharpie on a piece of weathered plywood nailed to the fence between my yard and the neighbor's. "You're invited. Luke and Maya's backyard. Wedding Saturday, June 15th. 4 p.m. open bar. BBQ. Dancing. No RSVP needed. Bring your dog, your kids, your lawn chair, and please, leave the complaints at home." I smiled when I hung it. Maya stood beside me, barefoot in the yada grass, her dark curls dancing in the breeze. She kissed my cheek. "She's going to lose her mind," she said. "She already has," I replied. "She just doesn't know it yet." We both knew who she was. Evelyn Whitmore, HOA President, Neighborhood Watch Overlord, self-appointed Architectural Compliance Officer, and, as of that moment, the only person in Pine Hollow Estates not invited to our wedding. Pine Hollow Estates wasn't always like this. When I bought the house 10 years ago, it was a quiet cul-de-sac, tucked into the woods just outside Asheville, North Carolina. 5 acres of land, a rustic farmhouse, a creek out back, and stars so bright you could read by them. The original neighbors were retirees, artists, and a few off-grid families who liked peace more than pavement. Then the developers came. They bought up 3 parcels, built identical 2-story colonials with gray siding and black shutters, and started charging $1,200 a year for the privilege of living in a premier community. That's when the HOA was born, and Evelyn Whitmore, an early retiree from corporate HR in Atlanta, volunteered to lead it. Within 2 years, Pine Hollow had a 47-page rulebook fines for unapproved paint colors, a ban on clotheslines, a curfew for leaf blowers, and a surveillance camera network for safety. She even fined old Mr. Jenkins $75 for letting his dachshund bark during a thunderstorm. I'd tolerated it. Barely. But this was my wedding, and it was happening in my yard. Maya wasn't from here. She was a wildlife biologist who worked with river otters down in the Smokies. We met at a farmer's market when she called me out for using plastic bags. "Paper or reusable?" she'd said, handing me a cloth tote with a painted otter on it. "Or you're part of the problem." I fell for her right then. She moved in 6 months later. We didn't want a big wedding. No ballrooms, no caterers, no DJ named DJ Sparkles. We wanted our place, our people, our rules. So we planned a backyard wedding. We strung fairy lights between the oaks, built a wooden arch from reclaimed barnwood, hired a local bluegrass band, got a food truck for BBQ, and I even convinced the county clerk to come out and officiate. Everything was legal, everything was peaceful, everything was ours, until Evelyn found the sign. It came on a Tuesday, taped to my front door like a warrant. Crisp white envelope with the official HOA letterhead. I opened it in the kitchen, Maya reading over my shoulder. "Dear Mr. Callahan, per Section 7.3 of the Pine Hollow Estates Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions, CCNRs, no event involving more than 10 guests may be held on private property without prior written approval from the HOA board. Hosting a wedding reception in your backyard constitutes a public gathering and is in violation of noise ordinance. 4.2, excessive sound after 8 p.m., zoning rule. 9.1, commercial activity on residential lots. Safety regulation. 12.7, unpermitted open flame and alcohol service. Failure to cancel this event will result in immediate fine of 500 daily fines of $150 until compliance, possible legal action for nuisance and trespass. We urge you to reconsider and submit a formal request for approval. Sincerely, Evelyn Whitmore, President, Pine Hollow Estates, Ho Maya," crumpled the letter. "She can't be serious." "She is," I said, "and she's already lost." Maya looked at me. "What are you going to do?" I smiled. "I'm going to get married. I didn't call the HOA back. I didn't file a request. Instead, I called the people who mattered our way. Best man Javier, a firefighter with a booming voice and a love of karaoke. My sister, Claire, who ran a bakery and brought desserts like they were going out of style, and my cousin Danny, who owned a sound system big enough to wake the dead. We set up the week before. Fairy lights, hay bales for seating, a long wooden table under the yay, big oak, a keg of local lager, a bourbon bar, and at the edge of the yard, near the tree line, a small sign. "This is a private event. You are welcome. She is not." We didn't name her. Everyone knew. June 15th arrived like a blessing, clear skies, 78 degrees, a soft breeze, the scent of honeysuckle in the air. By noon, the crew was setting up. By 2 p.m., the food truck pulled in. By 3 p.m., guests started arriving, friends, family, neighbors who weren't afraid of Evelyn. And then, at 3:47 p.m., the first car pulled up. Not a guest, a silver Lexus. Evelyn stepped out. She wore a beige pantsuit, white sneakers, and sunglasses so big they looked like goggles. She marched straight to the gate. Javier intercepted her. "Sorry, ma'am. Private. Event. I am the HOA President," she said, voice sharp. "This is a violation of multiple rules. I demand you shut this down." Javier crossed his arms. "You weren't invited." She pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the police." And she did. Right there. She dialed 911, put it on speaker, and said, "Yes, I'd like to report a large unauthorized gathering at 472 Pine Hollow Drive. Over 100 people. Loud music, open alcohol, possible fire hazard. I believe it's a commercial event without a permit." The dispatcher asked for her name and number. She gave it. Then she turned to Javier and smirked. "They'll be here in 10 minutes. Javier just nodded. "Cool. Tell them to bring earplugs. The band's about to start." I was in the house, adjusting my tie, when my radio crackled. "I'm not just a homeowner. I'm Chief Luke Callahan of the Asheville County Sheriff's Office. I'd kept it quiet. Didn't want special treatment. Didn't want complaints to go straight to the top. But now it was time." The radio call came in. "Unit 47, be advised, 911 call from Pine Hollow Estates, 472 Pine Hollow Drive. Unauthorized gathering, noise. Complaint, possible liquor violation, 2 units responding." I grabbed my hat. Maya looked at me. "You're not going to shut us down, are you?" I kissed her. "No, I'm going to officiate." 5 minutes later, 2 patrol cars pulled up. Officers Ramirez and Dawson, both young, both respectful. They got out, approached Evelyn. She stood with her arms crossed. "This is a violation," she said. "Over 100 people. No permits. I demand enforcement." Ramirez nodded politely. "We'll assess the situation, ma'am." They walked toward the yard, and then a third vehicle turned down the road. Black SUV, gold badge on the door. "Sheriff's Office, Chief of Police." The officers turned. Evelyn froze. I stepped out, in full uniform, hat, badge, radio, sidearm. I walked straight to Evelyn. She blinked. "Chief." "Callahan?" "That's right," I said. You're the homeowner?" "And the groom," I said. "And the one who approved this event," she stammered. "But there's no permit. I'm the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in this county," I said. "I don't need a permit to attend my own wedding." Ramirez and Dawson tried not to smile. Evelyn's face turned red. But the noise. "Within legal limits," I said. "We measured it. Decibel meter on the porch. You're welcome to check. The alcohol, private event, no sales. No minors drinking, we're compliant. The fire, the only flame is a single citronella candle, and it's battery-powered." She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "You can't be serious." "I'm dead serious," I said. "And I'll tell you something else." I stepped closer. "You called 911 to shut down a wedding." She swallowed. "That's misuse of emergency services." Her eyes widened. I didn't mean... You reported a possible fire hazard and commercial activity at a private family event," I said. "That's a Class 2 misdemeanor under NC General Statute 14229. Ramirez handed me a citation book. I wrote it out, handed it to her. $250 fine. Misuse of 911. "You're fining me?" she whispered. "I'm enforcing the law," I said. "Same as you claim to do." She looked around. The guests had gone quiet. They were watching. The band had stopped playing. I turned to them. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "As Chief of Police, I've just responded to a 911 call." A ripple of laughter. "And I've determined that the only violation tonight was the call itself." More laughter. Then applause. Evelyn backed away. "I'm leaving." "Good," I said. "And don't come back." The band started again. Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker. People cheered. I walked. Maya down the aisle, made of wildflowers and pine needles. The county clerk stood under the arch. We said our vows. Simple, real, from the heart. I promise to protect you, I said. Even from HOA Karens, she laughed. And I promise to love you, even when you wear your boots in the house. We kissed. The crowd roared. Fireworks lit the sky, small, legal ones, launched by Danny from the back field. And as the sun set behind the trees, I raised a glass. To love, I said. To peace, and to never letting a petty rulebook steal your joy. Everyone clinked glasses, everyone smiled, everyone except one. Evelyn sat in her Lexus, parked at the end of the road, watching, furious, powerless. The next day, the fines started, rolling in, not to me, to her. Neighbors filed complaints with the county. Mr. Jenkins. She called 911 on my dachshund, harassment. The Garcias. She fined us $75 for a piñata at my daughter's birthday, emotional distress. The Millers. She threatened to sue us for hanging Christmas lights 2 days early. The county opened an investigation. Then came the petition, over. 60% of homeowners signed it. At the next meeting, she was voted out, unanimously. Her replacement, Javier, firefighter, wedding bouncer, neighborhood hero. He immediately suspended all fines for joy-related activities. A month later, the HOA revised the bylaws. With my input, as a resident, not a cop, we passed the Backyard Bill of Rights. No fines for private gatherings under 200 people. Fairy lights allowed year-round. BBQ smoke is not a nuisance. Dogs may bark. During thunderstorms, clotheslines permitted if they're wooden and rustic, and no one may call 911 to report a wedding. We celebrated with a block party, live music, a taco truck, kids playing tag. And Evelyn? She sold her house, moved to a condo in Charlotte. Last I heard, she's on the HOA board there, but this time, she keeps quiet. It's June 15th again. 1 year since the wedding. We're in the same backyard, same fairy lights, same oak tree, same keg. Only, this time we're celebrating something else. Maya holds up a tiny pair of blue booties. We're having a baby, she says. The crowd cheers. Javier starts playing Dancing in the Moonlight on his guitar. I pull Maya close. You think Evelyn's heard? I ask. She smiles. I hope so. I kiss her, and as the stars come out, I realize something. I didn't just win a battle, I protected a home. Not with a badge, not with a gun, but with love and a little bit of justice. Author's note. This story, while fictional, is inspired by real tensions between homeowners and overreaching HOAs across the United States. From fines for dandelions to lawsuits over paint colors, many people face bureaucratic bullying in the name of community standards. But remember, your home is your sanctuary. Your joy is not a violation, and sometimes the best way to fight back is to throw a damn good party. So dance, laugh, marry who you love. And if someone calls 911, make sure you're the one who answers.